Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to the Aram training channel. Two cameras again today, one here in the front, one from the top, so you can see better what I try to explain. Main topic today, how to avoid the upper body to open early. That's a question I got on rowing.zone, very happy to answer it. The question is, why does your upper body open too early? Then we have to figure out, okay, what could be the possible reason? And there are two main reasons. The first one is bad preparation or weak core. I'll explain in detail in a moment what I mean. And the second reason is wrong ideas of how to move a boat. Let's start with the second one, wrong idea of how to move the boat. The worst thing you can do is to say hard leg drive at the catch. In the worst case, that is going to happen. If you want to avoid shooting your slide, of course you're going to do that because you have to counteract that somehow. So essentially you send too much energy into the entire system with your legs, and of course it's going to overpower everything. A very simple question you should answer for yourself. Are your legs stronger than your core? Are your legs stronger than your shoulders? Are your legs stronger than your arms? If you can answer any of these questions with a yes, chances are you're good company with probably 90%, 99% of all other rowers on this planet. And then you shouldn't go full load with your legs at the catch. It's that simple. If you're interested, I plan on doing a dedicated video why going full send with your legs at the catch is pure nonsense and messes up your technique. Stay tuned if you're interested. Maybe drop a comment if that's something I should do preferred, and maybe subscribe or hit the notification bell, then you know when I upload that video. So sending everything you've got with your legs into the system at the catch is going to create a reaction you don't want. And the reaction you don't want is either that or trying to cope with this somehow. It's just plain stupid. You don't want to do that. The first point I wanted to talk about before is shoulders and core either weak or and badly prepared. Besides point two, being overloaded. So how should you position these parts? Well, let's look at the upper body first. It hinges around the hip joint. If we just look at that, it hinges right here. That's the one hinge we should be looking at using predominantly. The problem is that we rowers tend to add a lot more hinges where there are none. There are no natural hinges above our hip joint going up to the shoulder. And that's the main problem. So what a lot of people do is they have a back that is round. Usually people are too soft here, too soft there, and then this will happen. Ugh. Of course, everybody knows you should have a stable back. Not a straight back, not necessarily, but a stable back. One quick note here. No, the rowing motion is not a deadlift. And no, our aim is not to lift our butts off the seat at the catch. Neither of that is the case, and on my long video topic list, my plan is to make dedicated videos for that as well. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on that, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload the video. But so far, no, it's not a deadlift, and no, I don't want to lift my butt off the seat. That's the wrong kind of idea. What I need to avoid is to make my back become round. If it doesn't want, if it's too soft here, it might be almost invisible. What's going to happen? You will be overloaded. Even if you're careful with your legs, you will be overloaded. And if you're overloaded, the energy cannot be transferred into flywheel speed or boat speed. You have to understand what the objective is. The objective is to move the boat. The objective is not to move ourselves. So if we try to move the boat or the flywheel here underneath the by rower, and we have to go around the pins, that's what the rowing motion is like, then we have to be patient enough to see, is the flywheel moving? Is the flywheel moving? Yeah. So quintessentially said, the upper body is going to rotate early if your core is not well positioned. So if you create soft spots in your back. The question is, can you hold your back? No, you cannot. Because your back is actually not ultimately responsible to hold the upper body. That's a misconception. Back muscles are predominantly responsible to transfer energy down into the hip joint, but more to create a motion. It's the back extension chain. So of course, if you focus on the back, it's going to extend. Very simply put, if I trigger, you can see on the top camera here, if I trigger these muscles, say erector spinae for example, then of course it's going to open up. Even if I go through my lats, of course it's going to open up eventually. So what I need to do is fake a bone structure within my core. We just don't have a sufficient bone structure. Our bodies are not meant to row. This is why I think rowing is such a healthy motion. It might sound ambiguous, but I sincerely think that's the case. If you push your body to do something, it needs muscles for without getting injured, which is the case on a true rowing, in a true rowing environment. Then it's actually quite healthy. It keeps you fit, strong, and alive. So the idea is here at the catch to somehow miraculously make your core stable. How to do this? Well, you engage your deep muscles. It's not a big secret. I've talked about this in multiple videos. How do you engage these? By trying to be tall. Well, which body part should be tall? Should it be tall, chest out, shoulders back? No, that's not what we want. Because if you bring your shoulders back, what happens is that we're too stiff. It works on a linear erg where you just do this. You can actually do kind of a deadlift in a linear erg, but that's not rowing. You were interested in rowing. So rowing is this here around the pins. If you do this with stiff shoulders, it isn't going to work. So where should we be tall? Well, up to the sternum from your belt buckle. So if you look at the belt buckle, from the belt buckle up to the sternum, that's where we should gain height. How do you do this? Well, I personally feel it that way. When I'm at the catch, I perceive my low back to be extending not just forward but up. Everything I try to make long. So that leads, I hope you can see this, to pelvic rotation here. I'm not even aiming for a hollow back. I just aim to be straight. Then I picture myself as a letter C. From the seat up, like that. And I want to make it a tall, long C, not a round, crunched C. So I want to be like that. So the inside of my core is responsible to stabilize me. The outside of my core is supposed to extend up. Let's put it the other way. So the inside of the letter C, the ventral chain, the front of my torso, should provide stability. Going tall, tall, tall. Belt buckle, up to the sternum. Try to extend it. But not just up, forward and up. The way I do it is hands away. Lead out. At that stage, I already try to lift myself off. That will create quite a bit of tension in your hamstrings. If you're too tight on your hamstrings, you've got to stretch. It's that simple. You need mobility. There is no other way. So flexibility to be correct. You need flexibility to a certain degree. So yes, you should stretch it. That's too tight. It's that simple. Stretch. There's a stretching video. I'll link it in the description. And then from half slide on, you need to post correct and then extend, but not just the front, also the back. And my personal perception of how to row properly is when I row, I try to extend the low back up. And therefore, I eliminate as many weak spots as I can in my lower back, in my lower core. It's not just the back, it's the front. I tend to focus on the front of my torso because that's not the back extension chain. There's actually the hip flexing chain. Is that a word? My hip flexors. My personal idea is that I try to make that part of my body long when I go to the catch. So I try to extend it now up and forward. And doing that, it just provides unbelievable stability. Here. Finish position, forward, post correct, tall, 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 tall. Shoulders loose, tall, 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 down here. Start to drive. Whoop. So 2 factors, stabilize the core, be careful about your legs. Should you go full send with your legs? Yes, but not instantaneously. You don't do it, no. No, I don't use the strongest part of my body and make the rest try to cope with it somehow. I've seen many people with problems with their backs, especially in linear ergs, because they learn to row that way. No, you don't want to go hard with your legs at the catch, no. Yes, the goal is a quick force curve pickup. So the goal, if you look at the force curves, yes, I want it that way, boom. Yes, I do want force curves like these. But the point is that you cannot force it. The entire body has to be ready. Now, there's going to be a second part of this video. It's going to be a separate video because it is a separate topic. how to avoid that your arms start to bend too early during the drive or at the catch. I hope it was worth your time. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you hopefully in the next video, which is going to be how to avoid your arms bending too early. With that being said, share the video and go to aramtraining.com. This is where you can join the Saturday classes, which is where we work on these things very much every Saturday. 45 minutes live coached online session with me. If you want to join, very happy to work with you. aramtraining.com. This is where you find the links to the Saturday classes. See more about the bar rower. This is the beauty I'm on right now. This is an original rowing machine. You can adjust the spread, the gate height, the inboard length. It can tip left and right. It slides back and forth. It gives you immediate feedback. You can shape your athlete's handwriting as a coach or your own rowing handwriting as an athlete. You actually get feedback that you don't get in a single sculpt. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.